means early, meaning that a child learned literacy from a young age already. Remember, they cannot actually read or write at this stage in the conventional sense, as we say. That's why we must expose them to reading and writing as much as we can. Then language literacy skills, like I've said, begins at birth. So, what is the components of emergent literacy? As you can see on my slide, it says alphabet knowledge, phonological awareness and memory, naming of letters and objects, writing and letters. As you can see in my picture, I have McDonald's and KFC on there. When children go past or we pass McDonald's or KFC, they will be able to tell you that is KFC, that is McDonald's, without even knowing what the letter symbol means. But they know what McDonald's look like and what KFC look like. Therefore, we can say phonological awareness. Kids pick it up by sound and rhymes in the words they hear. So they hear mom and dad say, there's McDonald's, there's KFC, and they remember it. Because remember, they are making aware of it through print. As you can see, McDonald's, it's on the building and KFC on the box. So that is why they know it's KFC and it's McDonald's. Phonological and phonemic awareness. Phonological awareness is about listening, and it refers to the child's ability to hear and respond to similar sounds in words. It happens through the development of children when they become aware that language can be broken into words, like syllables, and smaller units of sound which means phonemes. Then also young learners learn to discriminate between similarities and differences of sound, and it's also broken up into language pieces. Then, such awareness is the foundation of young children's ability to hear and discriminate different sound and words. Tell me, is there anyone that would like to add to it? Anel? Annika? Would you like to add? Or would you like to share your experience with me? Any student? Right, and then with that, they also name letters they name letters or objects. And now let's go to the part of writing quickly. There you can see writing of an emergent learner. That is emergent writing. Tell me, on the left-hand side, can you make out what the learner tried to write on that page? Can anyone decipher that for me, please? Can you make sense of what the learner wrote there? What do you think what that is? Come talk to me, students. Anyone? What is that called?
Scribbling.
Yes, it's scribbling. Remember? They first start off writing with uncontrolled scribbling. And then the second stage, as you can see that's on the side where it says stages of writing, of emergent writing. They first start out scribbling uncontrollably. And later on in stage 2, they start to control the scribbling. The third phase, pictures of objects and people intersperse with writing marks. Last stage is where they can form actual letters, where you can see what the learner is writing. Now, what do you think, students, is the importance of emergent writing? Please share with me what you think. What is the importance of emergent writing? Why do we teach children to write at the early age?
It's the basis they can build up on when they go to school, and yeah.
Thank you for that. Anyone else would like to add? Right. The importance of emergent writing is, you must understand, writing is a form of communication, all right? And there are conventions or general patterns in written communication. As you can see there, even with the scribbling, there's a pattern in that. And the way you write, when you write words, there's a certain pattern with that writing. Now, there is a connection between reading and writing. Remember, the more they read, the better they will write at the end of the day, getting them ready for school, and vice versa. Meaning that they'll understand more about the literacy process once they get to school level. Now, remember, there is some prerequisites involved in this. A child must have a context that creates an opportunity for him for role play writing. Parents must let the child write. Even if they write on the walls, if they scribble on any page they see, even from a young age, children start to scribble. So parents must give them that context to write or to role play writing. And also, they must create an atmosphere where they let the children risk writing. That is the only way they're going to develop their writing of letter sounds and words and sentences. Then also, there must be a stimulating context for them. Situations where written communication is needed and applied. You must allow them to do that. Ask them to do that if it's required of them to write, even if they scribble, even if you just make a mark on the page. And then a need or a reason. You must create a need or a reason for role play writing for a kid. Anyone unclear, or do I have to explain anything? Anyone like to add to that? To the importance of emergent writing? Students, share with me what you know of emergent writing, please. Anything. How did you experience it when you was a kid? Anyone would like to share?
I au pair during the day, and the children I au pair for are 3 years and 6 years old, and I've realized that there's still a lot of, especially with a 3-year-old, there's still a lot of, you need to like direct them with their movements. Like when they try to write something, you can help them like holding their hand. Yeah, it's a lot of hands-on with them.
Yes, correct. Remember, I mentioned the stages of writing. So the first stage is uncontrolled scribbling. The second stage is more controlled. All right. So the more they do it, exercise it in class, the more controlled the scribbling will become. Anyone else would like to share their experience? Now let's move on then. If you look at the key elements of emergent literacy in a classroom, can you see my classroom, the picture there? What do you see in the picture? Anyone? Please share with me, what do you see in my picture? I see books. What else do you see?
A carpet for them to read on.
Correct. Anything else, anyone? I see posters on the wall. Well, if you look at that picture, that is what an emergent literacy classroom should look like. It must be print rich. It must be full of alphabet knowledge. Writing pieces of the learners must be displayed on your wall. That books that's there, that is for reading aloud when teacher read to the learners. Then, with the posters on the wall, that also help them to develop the language skills. Then, as you can see there's a mat, so they can have free play on the mat. So they learn through play whole day. And most of all, the environment must be print rich. Do you agree with me, students? Do you agree, anyone? Yes? Would you like to share with me, student?
No, I just wanted to say yes, I agree.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to agree with me on that? Or disagree with me? Come on, students. Let's make this interactive.
Yes, I also agree.
Good. Thank you. Who am I speaking to now?
Danae.
Thank you, Danae. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Let's continue. There. Alphabet knowledge. How do we develop learners' alphabet knowledge? Anyone? Please share. Please share. Anel, please share with me. What do you think? How do we develop the alphabet knowledge?
Well, I think anything to do with like talking with them, them asking questions, asking them questions. What do you think this means when you're reading like a story, or yeah, anything to do with words that they see anywhere, because they obviously don't know that those are words. So you'll have to like explain to them that's a word, explain to them the meaning of a word. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
I think that alphabet knowledge, when I was still on primary school, I still have this alphabet rhyme in my head. I still have it until today, and I can still remember. So I think a rhyme is important to teach to them so that they know what alphabet follows after what one.
Thank you for that. Anyone else would like to share, please? Come, students.
So we use videos and a song to teach them the alphabet, especially in grade 1.
Yes, thank you. If you look at this is for your biggest students that you will, or learners, that you will use letter cup labels. That is for learners in the preschool phase or grade R phase. All right. This is where you take objects, toys, something they can pick up in the environment, and you put down the cups there with the different alphabet letters. As you can see in my picture, of the A, B, there. And there's lots of objects. What do you see? What objects can you see, students? What objects? Please share.
I see an animals, Lego, there's a butterfly, elephant.
Yes. Anyone else in the group, please share with me. What do you see? You see a cup. I see a cup. What else can you see? Julian?
I see a dice.
Yes, you see a dice, right, Julian? Right. So tell me, you see a dice. In what cup will you throw the dice? The cup with which letter on? With a what sound?
Duh.
Duh. Thank you. Thank you. That is one of the ways we develop the alphabet knowledge, connecting it to things that is at their disposal. Like they like to play with toys. That's why we make use of toys in the Great Art class. Or if you're outside with them, playing outside, they can take objects like sticks, piece of grass, a flower, bring it into class, and then you do that activity with them. The second picture I can show you is a sensory bin. Why do you think we'll make use of sensory bins anyway?
To scratch and find.
Thank you. To scratch and find. Anyone else?
Maybe to feel the letter.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else? Remember last time I spoke about the sand tray where learners can write their names in or make the letter you want them to copy from the board or in front of them? That helps to develop their fine motor skills because fine motor skills is necessary for the correct pencil grip for writing. Tell me about your experiences in your classrooms or yes, in your classrooms. How do you see children write? Do you think they have the correct pencil grip? Do you practice fine motor skills with them?
I have the 1 to 2 year olds, so they're
Yes.
a bit young. So their
Yes.
pencil grip is where they are all first. But
Yes.
when I do fine motor skills, I practice on threading
Yes.
and transferring the say balls from one container to the other using their finger, the index finger and the thumb.
Good.
And mostly I would use Play-Doh, where they would roll the Play-Doh in balls or squash them with their index finger, something
Yes.
like that.
Yes. Now tell me, why do you let them squeeze the ball with the index finger and thumb?
To strengthen their fingers so that they
Thank
can
Yes.
use it to form their pencil grip when they are in the bigger grade.
Thank you. That's correct. Yes. Remember we doing that so they can develop strength in the hands and fingers for the correct pencil grip, what the lady said. Then if you look at my third picture, what do you think what that is? It has the heading matching cards on it. So what do you think? What is happening in that picture or what do you do having matching cards? Oops. Did you see the picture, students? Did you see my picture? Or must I go back?
Yes, I saw it. Thank you.
All right, all right. So what do you think what happened there, sir?
They were matching the letters, but it was capital versus small letters.
Correct. Why do you think we do that? To letter matching. Anyone else? Please, why do you think we do it? Any answer is welcome. Please tell me. Feel free to answer. We do it
Is
so
it
that
perhaps
yes.
is it perhaps because they should see how it's written in big form and how it's written in small?
Yes, that's part of it. Correct. Anyone else? Thank you. Anyone else?
I think it's just another exercise to consolidate the memory of how the capital letter look and how the small letter look.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else would like to try? Would like to add to that, students? It's like the lady said. It's to consolidate, you do that, and to show them the difference between a capital letter and a small letter, or that the letter A can be written in different ways. Say, for example, small a and capital letter A. And so that they will be able to memorize it when they see letter A. But what you also do with the lower grades, you'll put an apple next to it, even with grade R, to show them A, apple. That is small letter A, and that is capital A. All right. Now let's move on to encourage learners how to write. How do you think, how do you encourage learners in your class to write? Please, I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you so I know where to go from here. Please, how do you encourage your learners to write in your classroom? Even 2, 3 years old. Anyone?
We normally say in a Monday we would just let them free write, so write news about what they did over the weekend. It doesn't really necessarily have to be spelled correctly, but just to get them to write and interact and paper and pen.
Yes, thank you. Also to promote their pencil grip, even though it's just writing for them, scribbling for them. Anyone else?
We would draw big letters outside on with chalk, and
Yes.
then we would let them use paintbrushes with water and trace over the letters to see how it's formed.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? Remember what I said with sensory trays. You're quite right, students, in that. But let's come to the sensory tray. That tray, as you see it there, you can fill it with sand, you can fill it with salt, sugar, anything. You can fill it with anything. And learners have to write in it. Why? Because the resistance of that sand, or if you take salt or sugar, helps the kids write, help them to develop their hand strength, and then also that sand in the sand tray, the sensory tray, provides them with tactile sensory experiences. They children like to feel, touch, and smell things. So that is very good for them, a wonderful way for them to experience tactile sensory while writing. Then this kinesthetic approach, the sand tray, will help young children to master the alphabet. As you can see there, they have the alphabet card in front of them and they write it, copy it in the sand. Tell me, have anyone of you used sensory trays before or just let the children write in the sand? What was your experience with the kids doing that? Anyone, please.
We haven't used sand, but we use shaving foam.
Yes,
Because because we've got a lot of spectrum with kids that's on the spectrum, and they don't necessarily like the things sticking to their hands. So we felt that shaving foam is a really good concept for them to just get used to before moving over into finer textures.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else would like to share? Anyone else done something similar like that? And then also you can make learners write over letters. Say you have dotted lines, created dotted lines for them with the alphabet. You let them write over it. Or for some learners, you can ask them simply just to paste anything over the letters so they can feel and see the shape of the letter. Remember, sensory experience is very important for learners. Now, if you look at my next picture, remember the previous slide said the knowledge, it had the alphabet knowledge on, now we're at reading aloud. So what do you do in your class when you read aloud? Do you read to your kids, students? Do you read to them in class? No one? Don't you read to the children?
Yes, we do.
Thank you, thank you. How do you do it? What do you do while reading to them?
So in the grade 2 class, we normally just read off the smartboard while showing pictures. It's not necessarily necessary for finger puppets to keep their attention. And we normally use stories that sparks their interest.
Thank you. Anyone else?
In my grade, it's 1 to 2 year olds. So
Yes.
we need concrete objects
Yes,
because they want to see what's happening or how to keep their interest. We show. And when I read a book, I open the book so the book is facing to them. So I would be at the behind the book and reading to them so that they see the pictures instead of me just reading and them listening, because they're not going to listen if they don't see any pictures at all.
Yes, thank you. So you will choose books that relates to the child's own experiences and also read at the pace at the child's pace. Am I correct? That's what you will do for
Yes.
the 1 to 2 years old. Yes.
Yes.
Anyone else would like to share? Thank you. Anyone else?
I don't know if this is correct, but when I did my practical, sometimes what the teacher would do with especially with the grade ones, is she would first read the story, the short story, and then afterwards flip the book over and then show them the pictures, and then have them try and read what they have remembered.
All right. And what grade was that?
That was grade 1, and they sometimes did it with the grade 2s, but mostly grade 1.
Yeah. Yes, there's no wrong or right, but the best way is always to show the child where you're reading, especially the foundation phase kids. Say grade 1, grade R to grade 1, grade 2, it's fine, you can read and then show it to them. All right, because they must be able to see where you're reading and follow with the eyes, where your finger is moving, and also be able to connect with the picture in front of them. Or maybe they will be able to predict what's going to happen next before teachers read it.
Yeah, thank
Will
you.
you be able to give that a try?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Anyone else would like to share? Remember, when you read a book with a young child or with a learner in the emergent reading stage, please read a book that's appropriate to the child. You must also choose books that relates to the child's own experiences. Then, you must always also provide props to supplement the illustration, like concrete objects, that is for your 1 to 2s, movements, and sound, that will also be helpful for the learners. And lastly, you can modify the book to meet the child's individual needs if the child is not on that level that you'd like to read to everyone else. Do you understand, students? Do I have to explain again?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
My school consists of English and Afrikaans in one class.
Yes.
So, say I read an English book to the class in morning wing. Do I have to read do I have to translate it in Afrikaans, or do I read a different Afrikaans book to the Afrikaans learners?
Remember, children have to understand both languages. So what I can suggest you do is tell them the story in English and do the same story in Afrikaans again. So everyone will be able to understand or relate to the story. Because it's not always that there's an Afrikaans child that will maybe understand the English side of the story and vice versa. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure. Right. If you look at my picture, you see the big book and big print. That is books that you will normally use in emergent class. Because if you look at that, the font is big and the pictures is big. Learners will be able to see and recognize the letter print on there. And it will be better for them to follow. In that picture you can see the teacher indicates where with a finger where she's writing. And while you're writing, you can ask the children to tell you, if it's a short sentence, to tell you how many words is in the sentence. Say, for instance, if you read on the book, I am red with black seeds. Then you clap it. I am red with black seeds. That will also help the learners when they come to syllable segmentation. They will be able to do it. Is that clear? Do you understand? Do I have to repeat? Anyone? Anyone like to add to that? And then on the other side, you have your picture book, your normal picture books, where you ask learner, what do they think? Can they predict what's going to happen in the story? There's also a way of teaching learners how to read. Show them the front cover. Show them a book that they like, their favorite book, or the characters is on the television nowadays. Get a book like that and show them the cover. Then they will be able to tell you or predict what is going to happen in the book. That's what making it so exciting for learners to read. Let's continue. Developing oral language strategies. How do you develop oral in your class, learners? Do you talk to them a lot? Do you want them to say words or phrases after you? What do you do? Anyone? In my picture, you can see, for starts, there's a conversation station. You can have that in your classroom to start a conversation, something that they're interested in. Let them speak to one another, the children on their level. Anyone else do something else in their class? Please share with me, students. What do you think? What is necessary for oral development, oral language development? Look at the pictures. And you tell me what you think, what is necessary. Look at the ear. What do you think what that means?
Listening when the teacher is speaking.
Thank you. Anyone else? Correct, that's listening. They're hearing the same sounds over and over. If you play them the alphabet song, they hear it over and over. And at the end of the day, they will all know the alphabet song. That is how kids develop their oral language through rhymes and songs. Anyone else want to give it a try? There's 2 more pictures.
I don't know if this is correct, but
No, you can.
normally when a student raises a hand and just, ask you a question or speak to you, especially, so they'll say, I'm done, and then the teacher will say, no, you finished. So they just correct them.
That's right. Correcting is part of it. Eh?
Yes.
Thank you. Look at the guy in the picture with the magnifying glass and the alphabet. What do you think was that? What am I trying to say? Just have a look at it. He's looking at it. Remember, after you spend lots and lots of time with students or learners doing that alphabet song, let them copy words, let them write out words. What do you think what that is?
Have them identify the objects in your class, maybe?
Yes. Anyone else? That is when they identify the sounds on their own. Remember, you've exposed them to the sound because you have a print-rich class. You have vocabulary everywhere. You have words, you have letters. And remember, you even taught them the song. So now they will know, they see that is a w, that is a o. That is just for them to connect with that word. Anyone else want to add to that? Anyone else? Are you still with me, students? Please show me. Tell me, are you with me?
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else? Who's still here?
Yes,
Who's still
Yes.
here? Thank you. Yes, who else? Let's continue. Right, learning through play. Do you agree with me? We must do learning through play every day. Do you agree, students?
Yes.
Anyone? Yes, why do we do that? Why?
To understand how things work.
Thank you, to get connected, yes, with the environment. What else?
To just consolidate the work.
Yes, correct. What else?
To make learning fun for them.
Good. Yes. Remember, when we do learning through play, we make it fun for them, correct? We consolidate. We make them understand what they're doing. And that is one of the ways, or let's say the only way, they will remember how to do it, what to do, and when to do it. Are you with me? Do you understand? Come on, students, please talk to me.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. That is why we do learning through play. It's very important, because when the child get to grade 1, they will be able to know what to do and understand what to do. Because their learning is more formal. Do you agree with me? Anyone? Anyone?
Yes.
Remember, we're still playing grade 1, but it's
Yes.
more formal. Thank you. Let's continue. Now, this is what an emergency class should look like. Can you see we have chairs that them relax? There's play areas there. You can see there's vocabulary. There is books everywhere. Everything that they must know is there. Do you agree with me? Is it print rich enough? Tell me, is it print rich for emergency class? Emergent class?
I agree, but our classes are a bit minimalist because of sensory overload.
Yes, definitely. Kids with sensory problems, or that's on the spectrum. They don't like colors, lots of colors. Maybe they can advise you. You can try purple, because purple work with the ADHD kids. Will you give that a try? Purple calm them.
Yes, that's correct. We do have a lot of purple.
Oh, good, good, good. Thanks. Let's continue. Right. know what? What do you think? What should emergent readers know in grade R? We're talking now about grade R. What do you think in grade R? What must they know? You can look at my screen. Think. What did you do in the grade R class? Or what do you do in your grade R class, students?
They should definitely have an awareness of words and letters.
Correct. Phonological and phonemic awareness, very important in that class. Anyone else? Correct. Phonemic awareness, phonological and phonemic awareness, very important in a grade R classroom. Therefore, let me just add, children should be taught rhyming. Rhyming is very important, rhythm. Then, as I said before, children pick up sounds and rhymes in the words they hear. Therefore, in a grade R class, or let's say in any class, emergent class, you will choose books that rhyme. For instance, you'll have a book that have the word fox, socks, box in. Is that rhyming? Please tell me, is that rhyming?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's rhyming. You will have a book with rhyming words in it. Why? Because they will remember. What will they remember? Anyone? You want to give it a try? The sound of the words. Am I correct? Can you hear?
Yes.
Socks, socks, box. Yes, that's the sounds they hear. Then you must also point out to the repeated sounds in that book. For example, if you're reading a book, one fish, or in that book is one fish, red fish, blue fish, then you must ask the child to listen to the sound. Do you do that in your class if you read to the learners, even in grade in the class 1 to 2 years old, 1, 2 to 3? Do you do that in your classes when you read a story? Then you ask them, what do you hear when I say ball, black, dog, bark? Do you ask them? Anyone? Do you do
Yes.
that?
I asked
Yes.
them. Yes.
Yes. Why? To familiarize them with the sound of the words so they can make a connection between the sounds. Am I correct? Do you agree, students? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Everyone? Right. So that is why we do phonological awareness. Now, concepts of print. Why do you think it's so important, concepts of print? Anyone want to give it a try? Why do you think concept of print is so important? Concept of print, when they see it every day and every time, they will be able to recognize the letters and the sounds. Anyone else would like to add to that? Anyone? Let's continue. Then there's a form of concept of print also. You give a child a book. Even if you read the story, you show the child how to read. Look at the book. You must show the child, even the smallest, the youngest class, the back cover of the book. Show them, this is the back cover, the front cover, this is the front cover. And what will you find on the front cover? Anyone? Please tell me. What will the child see on the front cover?
The name of the book, the author, the picture.
Yes, the picture, the picture. For the smaller ones, the picture is very important. Because why is the picture important? Anyone have an idea? I said it before. To make a connection. Or to tap into their prior knowledge. They will see a bus and they will say, for instance, teacher, that's a bus. The bus fetch me in the morning. Did you ever heard a child say that in your class maybe? Connect with the picture and just say whatever is on his mind?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, that's why the concept of print is very important. That picture on the book is so important in emergent literacy class. Then also you must show them that we read from left to right, even right, from left to right. Have the signs up in your classes, please. Left to right, top to bottom. Then you can ask them, where will you start reading a book, at the back or where? Then what will they say? What do you think? What will they say? Come, what do you think? Anyone? They will say in front. Am I correct? Because they know they have to start in front. Even with the grade 1, the year 1 and 1, 2, 3, year 1 to 3 children, they will take a book, for instance, even if it's upside down. Upside down. They will page through the book. They will learn about paging. Maybe some of them, the children that's 1 year old. Well, teacher, the teacher that's 1 year old, do they start in the front of the book, at the back of the book?
They start in the front of the book, but the pages are a bit thicker than a normal page to make it easier for them to page through it themselves.
Correct. There you can see. As from age 1 already, they know that they must start in front of the book, from the beginning until the end. It's right, like you say. The books is a bit thicker. You get plastic books. You get books made. You can make your own books even. Did you ever try that, students? Did you try that with your learners? You know how much fun it is to make their own books. Did you try that in your class already? Anyone? Just give it a try. Let them make their own books. Let them make their own books. You will see how much fun it is. Even though it can just be one page, 2-page book. As long as you know this is the front cover, this is the back cover, this is the pages in between. As long as I do that. And when you make a book with emergent learners, let them make a book that will interest them. Ask in the class what they like, what characters they like. And let them cut out pictures of the characters. Or maybe how to brush their teeth. They cut out pictures of toothpaste, toothbrushes, brushing teeth. That is how you can make the books. All right, let's continue. Now, what does it look like when learners begin to read? Anyone? What do you think? To read. How do they start off reading? This is now when they are going to grade 1. What do you think? They're starting to build sentences. Did you notice that in grade 1 or 2? Anyone?
Yes.
Students. Yes.
That's what's happening. They build sentences.
Yes. And they start speaking fluently. Am I correct?
Yes.
Oral language reflects literature. That's why you read to them during the emergent stage, up until grade R. Right? Listening to stories, watching DVDs, videos, watching YouTube videos. And that helped them to develop oral language. All right? And then also, they found a liking. They're starting to feel, they start to like reading. Am I correct? When they immigrate one, anyone, please help. I'm talking alone here, please. Share with me. Am I correct in saying that? Students, anyone want to differ with me?
Yes, especially when the stories are they're attracted to the stories.
Yes, yes, so correct, eh? That's why you must choose a book on their level. Thank you. Right, and by now, they should know most of the concept of print. No, there's some children that won't be able to do it, but most of them has acquired the concept of print by then. Then, every day it's very, very important. Make use of print every day. And remember, they see print all over they go. Do you remember the slide I showed you about KFC and McDonald's? Do you remember, students? Think back.
Yes.
Yes. That's a form of print. Concept of print. They see it around them. They recognize it. They make children 1 year, 1 year, 2 years. They won't know what that letter means or letter sound mean, but they will be able to identify or say to you that is McDonald's and that is KFC. So that shows that they have a sense of phonemic awareness. So if we can break it up, let's look. What is phonics? Anyone want to give it a try? What do you think? What is phonics? Phonics is the ability to connect letters. All right? Grapheme is to correspond speech sounds. The phoneme. Then it's called phonics. Then children learn phonics through play. Remember, we said it's important to teach them through play. And what do we play with them? We play games and give them purposeful, informal exposure to it. And then it's support by good listening. Remember the pictures I show you of listening, the ear? Do you remember the picture about the ear? And it's supported by good listening and auditory perceptual skills. Starting with your riddle, starting with your rhyme, starting with your song, like we said here. They connect the sounds and letters, riddles and songs and rhyming. You still with me, students? Do you want me to explain again?
Please, can you explain again? I'm a bit confused.
Right. Let me explain phonics to you first. Phonics. Remember? Phonics can be divided into two. Phonics is the ability to connect letters. Letters, a, b, k, d. All right? Then it has to correspond with speech, the sound that you make. All right? When you see the letter. Yes?
Sorry,
yes?
so they connect the letter to the sound.
That's correct. Remember, you already played them, or you play them the song, a, b, k, d, and they can see the letters. Do you show them the letters when you do that?
Yeah, it's like video.
Yes. Now you see, they connect the letters and speech, the sound. That is called phonics. That's why we call it phonics. Do you want me to explain it again in another way, maybe? Anyone? Can I continue?
I understand, but I don't know for the other student, but I understand. Thank you.
Do you understand our student that asked? Thank you. Remember?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Now, let me just go a bit further to tell you that children learn phonics through play. Remember, we said in the beginning, you must let them learn through play, and by doing that, they will remember. So what we do is they learn through play, they play games, and we make use of purposeful, informal exposure. And that is it's supported, that is supported by good listening and auditory perceptual skills. Auditory skills. What did you? Anyone want to give it a try? Auditory perceptual skills. If you hear the word auditory.
It's what you hear.
Thank you. Perceptual skills, eh? And that normally starts by using riddles, songs, and rhyming words. And that is what you're doing in your classroom. Am I correct? Or that you should do do you do it in your classrooms?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, yes. Anyone want to explain again? Do you understand? So yes, then it shows evidence of phonemic awareness. They know what phonics is about. They also learn how to use consonants and vowel sounds, your A, E, I, O, U. You remember that? Yes. They also learn that in the stage where they're in grade 1 to grade 3. Then must use decoding strategies. All right? To build fluency. And how do we do that? We paste sight words on the whole. When you do a certain story with the learners, you will put certain keywords on your board. You will stick it there for the day so they can see. Fox. Remember, you will not only put the word on there, you can put a picture with the word so they can make a connection between the word and the picture. They will also learn how to write and also build word structure. Can you see how important it is to let learners learn through play? Because through all that playing in the sand, writing in the sand, let them read a book in the way they think it's supposed to be read. That all of it build fluency in terms of sight words. They will be able to recognize it. Text, they will be able to recognize that, and they will be able to build word structure. Anyone would like me to explain again? Do you understand, students? Anyone?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Yes,
Anyone else? Thank you. Let's move on.
Understand.
Good. Let's move on. Right. Now let's see. Oh, made a mistake there. What does it look like when learners begin to read? They begins to construct meaning to writing. Remember, we said they will be able to write in a meaningful way or construct sentences. Now they will be able to write it. Remember the sensory tray with the sand? Do you remember that? Where they had a feel of the letter forming? Do you remember, students?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. So now they begin to construct meaning in writing. They will know and how to write their own name. Why? Why? What did we teach them? What do we teach them in the phonics stage? What do we teach them? Songs, riddles, rhymes. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Songs, riddles, rhymes. They heard that sound of the letter every day by, because what do we do in the emergent class? We make use of what? It starts with the R. We make use of repetition. Am I correct? Do you do that every day in grade R?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So by repeating the letter sounds and by repeating them, copy their name, they will be able to write their own name at the end of the day. They will be able to write letters and use same other writing conventions. All right. Now they will be able to write for their own purpose. Do you think they will understand? They will understand what they wrote. Do you think so? In grade
They
1?
know they normally understand, but it's not necessarily that we understand.
Yes, that's why I said they write for own purpose. They write for their own purpose. But remember, we also still in the process to teach them how to write in a purposeful way. Because we're still continuing with the rhyming, with the songs, with the riddles, with the copying of letters, the copying of words. Do you want me to explain again? Anyone? So let's continue. And because they're getting so familiar with the writing process in that phase, then they will be able to construct meaning, and meaning in writing. Like I said in the beginning, they begins to construct meaning and writing, but at the end, they will be able to construct meaning in writing. All clear on that slide? Everyone clear?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Now, why do you think is early literacy important? Anyone? Share your ideas with me, please. Share it with me. Why do you think it's important?
It develops their reading and writing skills.
Thank you. Anyone else?
It also develops their talking.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else? Right, it's important to introduce them to reading and writing early. Why? As you look on this slide, it means that they will use that skills they've learned in the emergent phase for success in school at a later stage, in a later stage. Remember, it all starts with phonemic and phonological awareness. By connecting what you see with what you hear, you will be able to write it then, construct words, and read the word at the end. That is why early literacy is important. Remember, as I said in the beginning, early literacy, emergent literacy, happens during the early as possible, as from birth. And the key term here is that it refers to speaking, listening, reading, writing, viewing, and seeing others do it. Anyone clear on that? Why it's so important? Right.
Yes, thank you.
Good. Now this is the parts of the reader. Remember, when you read, You read with your eyes. Right? When you're telling a story, when you read aloud, we can do that also. Read aloud. You read so that everyone can hear you, so you'll be using your mouth. Why do we let children use their fingers while reading? Anyone? Why do you think we let them use their index finger? Yes?
Tracking is important so that their eyes don't jump the whole time and they constantly have the space of reading.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add? Yes, we let them use their hands or their index finger, or remember they must use their index finger. That is to keep track of where they're reading, and also by doing that, they will look at the word and make a connection with the word and the letters at the same time, or the print. That is why it's so important that they must use their index finger or their finger to read. And obviously when you read, you have a curious mind. You want to find out more about things. You want to experience things. All right. Yes. You read, especially when you read aloud, you can hear what you're reading. You can hear what you're reading. So if you make a mistake, you can hear and you go back to the word. And obviously, they say you must have a heart for reading. But remember, I said in the foreword, everyone can read. Everyone can read. It's only for you to make a connection with what you see or with the story, or remember what I said, when you read a story to learners in your class, they must be able to make a connection. That is why you must show them the front cover of the book or the picture of the book, so that they can tap into their prior knowledge, that what they already know of the picture. Then choose books that is appropriate to the learner's age and to their liking. Lastly, parts of the writer, the same as the parts of a reader. You must use your eyes, your mouth, your hands, your feet. Only thing that differs here is you must have pencil and paper. There you must have the correct pencil grip, the right formation of letters. That is the only thing that differs from a reader. And thank you, students. Just keep in mind, your work with young children is incredibly important. So, that says there, young children need writing to help them learn about reading. Remember, I said that in one of my slides also. They need reading to help them learn about writing. And they need oral language to help them learn about both. Is that clear to you, students? Do you agree with me on that? Anyone differ?
Yes.
Yes. So let's recap. Why do you think is immersion literacy important? Anyone? Please, I just shared with you now, so please share with me. What do you think?
So I think it's important because it will assist the student or child in later education or in his later education just become better, and they will advance better if the foundation is proper.
Correct. Thank you. Anyone? Please tell me what you understand by the term phonics. Remember, I said you can split it in two.
So it is the ability to connect to letters, to connect the letters to the sound and to how it looks.
Thank you. And that is called phonics. Raj, share with me what should a emergent literacy class look like? When I step into a class, it must be buzzing of what?
Books.
Books, thank you. Anything else?
It must be print reach.
Thank you. Anything else? Let me share this with you. When you walk into a grade R or emergent literacy class, all right, there should be books that's accessible to the learners. Remember, please don't store the books high up in the cupboard or the book rack or wherever. Let it be at their level. And then purposeful print on the walls and around the play areas. Singing, reading aloud, alphabet games, and engaging with each other. Please, that you must do in your classroom. Let there be purposeful print. Let there be play areas. Let them sing, read aloud. Alphabet games, let them play that. And let them engage with each other like I had the conversation corner. That will help them to develop their oral language skills. Therefore, teachers should frequently ask questions, all right, and help the learners to expand their oral knowledge skills. Then it should also be purposeful. Whatever, it must be purposeful instruction in practice, and then there must be a variety of phonological awareness activities that you do with the learners. Remember the rhyming, the singing, even when you read the book, remember the book that says one fish, red fish, blue fish. You must ask them to listen and ask them to listen to the f sound. So that is very important. Last thing, why do you think we let children practice letter formation at the beginning in a sensory tray or in a sand tray? Remember, they're using their fingers now. Let me help you there. Remember, the resistance in the sand help the kids write and to develop their hand strength. Remember, we spoke about fine motor skills, and one of the students said she let them touch the ball with their index finger and their thumb. Then sand also provides a wonderful tactile sensory experience to the young children. And this approach also helps young children to master the alphabet at the end of the day. Remember, the sand tray had the alphabet letter in front of them. They had to copy it in the sand. Then students, what I want you to do for next week is just to try and incorporate this in your classrooms that I explained tonight. Phonological, phonemic awareness, how children experience print, how to let them understand the different letters, maybe by singing the alphabet song, playing movies, let them do the alphabet with their bodies maybe, let them dance to it. Just tell me your experiences when you try to incorporate the strategies I shared with you tonight. Will you be able to do that for me, please? Students, will you be able to do that?
Is there a manner that I can incorporate it to the 1 to 2 year olds?
Yes, remember what I said. Play music. Play music, loud, soft, and then you will see they will have reaction to it. Play sounds. If you do the alphabet with them, all right. Oh, let's start with K. K for cat. Get a little video where you have a cat meowing. Then they will know it's a cat, or dog barking for D. You understand? They will experience it in that way. D for dog, dog, dog. They will hear dog bark. But just play music to the group 1 year, 2 years old. Let them experience it through play. Remember, let them also have a sandpit. Let them write anything in there. Give them a sandpit. Let them scribble in there. Remember, they're at the uncontrolled scribbling stage. Let them do that. That also help them with the muscle tone. Do I answer your question? Get storybooks. You have the storybooks in your class, am I correct? The ones you said that with the thicker pages, let them page through it. Like you said, they page from the beginning to the end. That is a way of learning emergent literacy. All right. Do I answer your question? Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else would like to share anything or ask a question before we leave?
I have a question.
Yes.
With our writing, I found that there's some students that will make the letter the wrong way around. For example, the P, it looks like a 9, and the F, it goes the wrong way. Is there anything specific except for letter tracing that we can use to assist?
Letter tracing is one of it, but you can do it by letting them put the finger in the paint. Remember, letter formation all starts with your finger, so they can get a feel of how to make a letter. Use anything, paint, but let them copy it from the board or from the book, please.
Okay,
and let them use their fingers.
Yes. And then because we do copying, but then they'll tend to start from the bottom, forming the word upwards.
All right. That is why you must go to them and keep their hands and show them how to form it. That is the only way they will correct it. Try and do it. Put your hand on theirs and show them how to write it. Even if you must do a row of the same number with them, do it. You will see it will become better and better. All right. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Because once they get that feeling, because remember, you are going to do it with them. If they get that feeling, they will get used to it at the end of the day. But remember, one letter at a time. All right?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? If there's no more questions, student, please try and incorporate the strategies this week in your class. Come back next week and share with the rest of us. And please don't forget to put your student number in the chat and the evaluation form complete, please. Thank you very much.
I can't type in the chat.
Right. Can you give me your student number, please?
63
63
62
62
89
89
29.
29. Let me repeat, 63628929. Anyone else have a problem with that? The rest of you all good? Can you type in your student number in the chat?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Portia.
Yes, Adele.
Can you also just ask the students to complete the attendance register? I've been looking now at the EML stats there, and I don't see that they've entered their student numbers in this register as well.
All right, we'll do that. Thank
Please,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good night,
Students?
everyone.
Students, please be so kind to complete the register for tonight.
Where can we find the register?
It should be in the chat.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Just higher
Thank
up.
you.
Is it the evaluation form?
It's the register. Do you see it there?
Student number, check off and complete the register. It was posted at 1819.
Thank you, Adele.
I know the network is very strange tonight because some people can't see everything in the chat. Can you see the attendance register?
Is it the message that says, "Good evening, students, please type in your student number on the chat box and complete the
And-
attendance"? Yeah, I've got that one. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I've already filled it in.
Thank you.
All right.